What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is AkeemHaynes. I'm a two-time Olympian, Olympic bronze medalist, author, motivational speaker, and sports commentator. On my channel, we talk boxing, MMA, track and field, and of course, motivation and encouraging content. If this is something that you enjoy, then I hope that you subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into the video. Jared Anderson versus Jerry Forrest. This is happening this weekend on the Teofimo Lopez and Sandor Martin card. Let's get into it. Let's start with Jared Anderson. This one is scheduled for 10 rounds, but Jared Anderson is coming to this one with the perfect record, 12 wins, 0 losses, 12 wins by way of knockout. So you know he's going to try to look to keep that streak active and keep it going. Look, we know he's good, right? We know he passes all of the eye tests, but he hasn't been in there with someone who's going to give him a real test, right? His toughest test to date, in my opinion, was Kingsley eBay, and he took some good shots in that fight from eBay. eBay is raw. He's unorthodox, right? And you can tell he's a guy who is in there who is just going to use what he can in order to get the win. Not too much skill, but he's dangerous because he does have that power, and he's definitely got the size. And Anderson took some shots against eBay, and he had some adversity for a little bit in that fight. Well, he knocked down eBay in the first round and had him bleeding in the first round, and he was laughing as he was doing it too, which means that he's a little bit crazy, but you got to be crazy to be in boxing as well too. But that goes to show you when someone is smiling like that, it means not only that they're confident, but they love it, right? Like they love the fight. They love the aggression. And apart from that fight, everyone else that he's faced, I mean, let's face it, he's been levels above them, and you could tell. Now, Jared Anderson is not your typical heavyweight, right? He looks more of a natural boxer to me than a heavyweight puncher. Even though he's got power in both hands, offensively, I mean, this is a heavyweight that can do more than the average heavyweight. He's crafty, takes good angles, patient inside the ring, uses his jab well, and he has very good footwork, constantly moving inside the ring, whether it's in close to close the gap or move out of his opponent's way and hit you from a different angles. And he's a switch hitter. He can give you different stances in different rounds. Not to mention his accuracy and his punching placement. He's a very smart boxer inside of the ring as well, too. And he can make adjustments on the fly, which is what you're going to have to do as your level of competition continues to rise and you get into the ring with some of those elite heavyweights. You have to have that in your repertoire. You have to have that skill to be able to make that adjustment. Jared Big Baby Anderson, he's the full package. He has all of the tools and the skills to be a champion down the road, but he's still in the development process. And Jerry Forrest is a step up from him, a dangerous step up for a young prospect like Anderson. But you also don't take these fights if you don't think that you can become victorious in them as well. So we'll see. I think he does a lot of good things in the ring, and he's defensively responsible, got good head movement. There's nothing not to like about this guy. And you can see that, man, if he continues this upward trajectory, he's going to be a problem for the heavyweights that are there when he's at that level, when he's at that stage in his career where he's challenging for a title. But let's talk about his opponent, Jerry Forrest, the veteran, coming to this one with a record of 26 wins, 5 losses, 2 draws, and 20 wins by way of knockout. He's only been stopped once by Jared Washington back in 2013. So that was a good while ago. He's fought some big punchers in the sport already. Carlos Takam, Zheli Zhang, and some other good heavyweights in Jermaine Franklin. We saw what Jermaine Franklin did against Dillian White. He also fought Michael Hunter and an older Kubrat Pulev. And though he didn't always get the win, he still got in there with the experience, and he still mixed it up with those guys. Forrest, to me now, you never quite know how he's going to enter the fight. Sometimes he comes in right away to fight and to engage early, to assert the tempo early. He'll bring the action. He did that against Jermaine Franklin early in that fight. He did the same thing against Zhang early in that fight, right? So he's fearless, right? He's got good pop, but he's not a one-shot knockout type of guy. He's tough, and he's not going to go down unless you take him out. Let's go back to his fight against Zhang, where he got dropped 3 times before the 4th round of that fight. And he got caught by the same shot, right? Like he overcommitted to one shot and he got countered and got dropped. And I think part of the reason why he got caught with some of those shots and the overcommitment was when he got dropped, right? He was trying to make up the rounds, right? When you get dropped, it's going to be considered a 10-8 round. So he was trying to make up some of that round as quickly as he could, and he overcommitted against a bigger guy, and it didn't work out to his favor early in the fight, but he didn't quit, right? Like, he was mentally locked in. Right. I didn't think that he was going to last the whole fight when I was watching it. I thought for sure Zhang was going to end it and close out the show, but he stuck around. Zhang got tired and he found a way to get himself back into the fight. And then Zhang got deducted that point. So it was really anybody's game going into the last 2 rounds. And he did enough to get the draw. Right? Forrest has a looping left hand hook that he'll be trying to land. The overhand shot can hurt Anderson if Anderson isn't careful or goes in a little bit lackadaisical and puts his hands down. You cannot take Jerry Forrest lightly. Do not let the losses fool you, right? If I'm Jared Anderson's team, I see what Forrest has done inside of the ring. He's a dangerous guy because an experienced fighter, and he's got some skill, is still a dangerous fighter. So it'll be interesting to see what strategy both men come into this fight with. So who wins? So to me, I think they are both natural boxers, right? So I'm expecting a slower pace for the first 2 rounds before they pick it up in the 3rd, 4th, and so forth. But that doesn't mean that he's automatically going to win, as some of the things that people are saying. If Forrest can control the pace of the fight and use his experience to drag out this fight, he'll be able to have more control of this fight. We don't know what Anderson is like as the fight gets longer. We don't know what Jared Anderson is like past certain rounds because he hasn't been in a 10-round fight yet. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens going into the 7th or the 8th or the 9th round if it does go to that point. I also don't think Jerry Forrest can afford to be stagnant in this fight because he has a tendency, right, to just stand there and trade shots and not cover up himself and leave himself open to being countered. It's happened over and over again in certain fights. And if he is going to do that in this fight, it could be a short night for him because Anderson's hand speed is going to be a problem in this fight for him. So he definitely needs to be careful because Jared Baby Anderson is a problem and he has all of the offensive tools and skills to be able to make this a long night for even some of the top heavyweights. So I have Jared Anderson winning. I think he's more skilled, quicker, sharper, and more accurate than Forrest. But Forrest is going to make him work to win this fight. It's not going to be easy. On paper, it should be Anderson's toughest test yet. But I'm taking Jared Anderson by stoppage in the later rounds. What are your thoughts on this fight? Who do you have winning this fight? Let me know in the comment section below. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a couple ways that you can do so. You can like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to support by way of donation, you can find options in the description below. Also, my Cash App handle will be on screen as well. Any amount goes towards the growth of this channel and will be greatly, greatly appreciated. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video this long, then do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.